Hello and welcome to our Gold Learning viewers. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC for Gold Learning. Well, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Fayth Parks today, who is going to be coming up, I'm so excited, Fayth, coming up at our Gold Perinatal Conference 2017. She is going to be our closing keynote speaker, which is very exciting. That is going to be on October 30th. And so you can actually go to the website right now and reserve your seat. This is a free and open access presentation. And so you will be able to come and listen to Fayth, and you'll also be able to share it with your colleagues and friends. So this is wonderful. So without any further ado, let's welcome Fayth here today. Welcome, Fayth. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you so much, Fayth, for being here. And we're talking offline here, kind of giggling a little bit about the fact that we've been talking about you for a while here at Gold and promoting you because we're so excited about having you as our closing keynote. But we have yet to sort of engage online. So this is our opportunity to put you on the spot just a little bit and ask you about your presentation, a little bit about yourself, and share it with our global audience. So again, Fayth is going to be talking about making a way out of no way. And every time I say your title, Fayth, I have to tell you that I have to make this big pause in my mind, because it makes me think about what you're trying to convey. So we'll get into talking about that just in a minute, but I would love it if you would introduce yourself to the audience who's listening today. Just tell them a little bit about yourself and what do you do back at home, and tell us perhaps where that is. What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Okay, so as you've already introduced me, I'm Fayth Parks. I'm an associate professor and a licensed psychologist in the Department of Leadership, Technology, and Human Development at Georgia Southern University. So that's the tagline in regard to my professional credential here. Now, what do I do? I'm a counseling psychologist. So what I focus on is learning and finding out ways to help people adapt to the life stressors, to the challenges that we face, as well as amplifying and celebrating the exciting parts of life and the things that we do well, and in particularly how we marshal our strengths to bring more joy and some contentment in our lives. And on a day-to-day basis here at the university, since I'm a professor, I certainly teach, and I actually do teach classes online. I'm teaching the class as we speak. I'm actually teaching because, as you well know, when you're teaching online, it goes on even when you're not physically present. So when I get off this interview with you guys, I will actually go back online and be responding to some of the students' questions and information. So I teach. We have here a counseling master's program, so I'm in the graduate school. With regard to my scholarship and my research, I focus on culture in particularly. Particularly, I'm looking at healing and illness recovery in order to prevent misdiagnosing as psychopathology the culturally significant beliefs and practices that can facilitate our personal strengths, that can facilitate our positive emotions and behavior change. And oftentimes we can sometimes misunderstand the cultural interpretations and the ways, the idioms that people draw upon for them to make sense of their lives and for them to take agency. Agency is so critically important to me, including a person's personal power and psychology and how we help them to heal. So that's how my work got started. And I have to tell you, it's been exciting as I've had the opportunity to travel to places like China and Tibet and to West Africa and to Egypt and to Brazil and to see all these various cultural practices and meet these fantastic healers all over the world. So,
wow, that's incredible. My mind is just totally blown right now as I'm trying to envision you and listening to your words and talking about marshaling our strengths and cultural healing, and then you're talking about the expansion of what you've had the opportunity to do, and that is travel and see all of these things around the world. That just blew my mind right there. How exciting is that?
It has been very exciting, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think you and I should probably sit down at a later date and have a really good chat about this. I'm excited to hear more, and I hope that you will continue to be able to share more with our audience. But thank you for giving us just a little snippet of what your life looks like back home there. So tell me a little bit about when you first became interested in postpartum and mental health. Was this something that you just graduated into, or how did it all start?
Well, it actually started from the side of the mental health and healing traditions. And so, as because of my emphasis on not wanting cultural practices to be misdiagnosed or misinterpreted in diagnosis, I kind of moved the lens around to various clinical issues, depression being one of them, and of course, postpartum being a part of that. I'm dealing with issues also with regard to HIV, mental health, and anxiety associated with that. So what's happening is the healing traditions center of the work that I do, the lens, if you can think about a spectrum, gets shifted around depending on which concern we might or issue we might be dealing with. And in this instance, it's postpartum. And so then uh, that I would say energized me to start looking at the healing traditions that are related to postpartum throughout our cultural spectrum in our global world.
Just wonderful. And it is, I mean, to me, it feels a little bit unique that the combination here, but it totally makes sense. I mean, I think this is something that we're hearing more of, but certainly appreciative that you're bringing it to our attention. And I know you speak on this a lot. I know, you've got TED Talks and you're working online, so please, everyone, check those out as well. It would be great, for you to listen to Fayth. I know she's got a lot out there, so thank you, though, for sharing a little bit about that as well. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing with us here at Gold Perinatal. Your talk is titled Making a Way Out of No Way. So maybe just in the last couple of minutes that you have with us here today, you can share a little bit about what you're going to be speaking on. Just a snippet, because I want to tease everyone just a little bit. I want them to all come on October 30th to listen to the full presentation, of course. But what are you talking about a little bit, and perhaps what's the takeaway that you're hoping to give to the audience?
Yeah. So what we'll do in this talk is I think the title in itself probably gives some clue as to the direction we're going to go here. So for we're talking about cultural strength, health disparities in postpartum families,
Mhm.
it would seem that one would have no way out in dealing with the kinds of challenges and issues that these things bring into an individual's life, into a family's life, into a community's life. And what we're going to look at is how do people use the cultural wisdoms to personally empower and give agency to themselves as they're going through these disparities or these challenges. And for many folks, access to quality modern healthcare is of itself a privilege. And more often than not, what certainly the research shows that people usually, when they're not able to access full health care, and actually I'm going to show a model with regard to how people usually go about getting help when they have a health issue. There usually is a immediacy to talk to family and friends to say I don't feel well, or people notice and they begin talking to you at that level before we even get to a doctor's office or engage the professional system. So oftentimes when we talk about health care, we usually start talking about it, for lack of a better way of putting it, from the doctor's office point of view. But actually, there's so much more that goes on prior to getting to the doctor's office that continues and can work as a partner. Culture can work as a partner with the advances that we have in science and modern medicine.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Fayth. I'm just listening in and imagining the process of how this can transform people's lives in terms of combining these, cultural strengths. So thank you so much for sharing that. Well, I hope that everyone is excited as I am now about joining Fayth on October 30th. You can go to our website and check out your local times. You can also reserve your seat now. You'll be able to listen to that live event on October 30th and, of course, listen to the recording as well if you can't make it on the live day. But do join us at goldperinatal.com for all of that information. Making a Way Out of No Way, Cultural Strengths, Health Disparities, and Postpartum Families by Fayth Parks. Thank you so much, Fayth, for sitting down and chatting with us today.
Oh, thank you for the invitation and the opportunity. Looking forward to it.
Yay, that's awesome. We're looking forward to having you too. Well, thank you again, everyone, for being with us today. Bye-bye for now, everyone.